Welcome to Woken Pretty. It's your girl Meera here with Min today. We are so excited to talk to you because Min got some things to talk about. What you got, girl?
Girl, you've been on vacation for a couple days, and lucky for you, you probably haven't caught up on all the crazy news that's happened. So let's kick it off with something hot.
I was on a
Britney
cruise.
Spears is releasing a memoir again.
Oh, really?
A new book. It comes out on Tuesday. And apparently in that book, she talks about how Justin Timberlake forced her to have an abortion.
What? Huh.
And obviously, this is 2 decades long after the fact. So Justin's camp has obviously clapped back, has done some PR maneuvers. Jessica Biel and Justin Timberlake have both said that this is in the past. He was a different person.
Oh, God.
And all this is doing is causing chaos in their house.
Who cares? Sorry.
Hold on. Who cares about Britney Spears in this situation? Or who cares about what Jessica Biel and Justin Timberlake are saying?
I don't care about what they're saying.
Okay, so I am totally with you. I think we saw Justin's true colors a couple of years ago when the Janet Jackson thing came out.
That was a lot of years ago.
Yeah.
That was a lot of years ago.
Her boob without basically consent. Like she didn't know it was going to happen.
That was more than 10 years ago, by the way.
But that opened up the doors to something.
But a few years ago, he finally addressed it.
Yes. So he likes to skirt things under the rug. So now, and in my opinion, Jessica, honey, I want to be on your side about this because he's your man and you're trying to stick by your man. But I think you need to come to the reality that women are pissed. This is something he wants to skirt under the rug again and push away. Granted, it's 20 years ago, but in my mind, I don't think Justin's repented or has apologized enough for the drama that ensued after his breakup with Britney, because she took the brunt of it. Like
as women often do.
And he wrote songs and sold albums because of it.
And capitalized on it.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a lot of thoughts. One, I was on a cruise and no, I did not check the internet. So there was a lot of things that happened. Mm-hmm. Okay. 1.2. I'm happy about her memoir. I think it's long overdue. I think it's time. I think she finally was able to speak her truth or is able to speak her truth. And I'm not surprised by that. They were young when they were together. They were each other's first loves, allegedly. And that is a really long time ago. They must have been really young to be in the spotlight. And hate me, but he's probably not wrong for wanting a termination at that point, because look how they were together when they were teenagers. So how old was she when she got pregnant? Did she say? I don't know any of this news. So this is all news to me.
Again, none of this hit our...
How old did she say she was? Like 19, 20?
You don't come here for this.
Okay, my point is she was super young, and I understand why he would say what he said. It's a choice for a person to have it. I didn't read the memoir, obviously. I don't even know anything about it. So her saying that he wanted her to have, that's a common tale with a lot of women out there. But did she want it? Because it's 50-50. She obviously went ahead and did it. So she has to take partial responsibility for that. That's my one piece on that. Mm-hmm. It's a hard situation for any woman. I've never been through it, but I know people who have, and you can't not be in this society and not know people who've been hurt by this or who had to have abortions for various reasons, medical, etc. But she also has 50% say in that. And you could argue she was young and pressured, but so was he. I'm not defending Justin Timberlake. I think he's a tool, but except for the NSYNC part that makes him still not a tool in my mind. I don't know for some reason.
I don't think I am questioning his motives 20 years ago in regards to, they were young. Britney Spears is now 41. This happened in the late 2000s.
She had her career going on. So did he.
This happened.
The motives were there.
Late 90s, early 2000s.
Oh my God.
We're talking so she was a teenager, late teens.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're questioning the...
Wait. Oh my God. Do you remember the whole thing about them not having sex back then? Mm-hmm. So maybe that was around that time, because you remember, and then somebody had asked him like, oh, are you still saving yourselves for marriage? And he laughed.
And they both laughed. Yeah. She was
Yeah,
asked
it
an
could have been
interview, too.
it could have been around that time because then they would have to come out that they were having premarital sex and all the things, and then she's pregnant.
And there was a purity issue with the whole.
Yeah,
Yes.
it could have been that
Yes.
time, and they were advised again. Okay, whatever. I understand why he would say that at the time. Her sister got so much SHIT for getting pregnant, unwed, and all the stuff, and she did have her baby, and we could drag Jamie Lynn, but she did what Britney didn't do.
I don't think it's the idea here that they decided to have the abortion or that she decided or he pressured her. I don't think that's what the internet is up in an uproar about. I think
What are they in an uproar about? That he had to defend himself?
I think it's because he seems to get away a little bit with
everything.
A little bit.
That's a man for you. That's a handsome man that has money that got success
again
younger.
Goes back to feeding the patriarchy, and then two, this hurts me a little bit in the sense that I get that she's trying to protect her family and her man, but had Justin Timberlake's PR team sat down with him and said, you know what, Justin, this is another thing that's just adding to the mix of you not being a good guy. Maybe you should just come outright, tell the truth, get ahead of the story. Since it's already out, tell your side for a second and apologize. But it doesn't feel like an apology. It feels this happened 20 years ago. Why are we still talking about it?
Let's backtrack for a second. I feel like I'm defending Justin Timberlake and I'm not trying to do that.
I know you're not.
Think of your first boyfriend, your first serious boyfriend. Okay, you had a little different situation with your first serious boyfriend.
Yeah, he became a baby daddy.
Were there things that you did at that time that when you think about it to him, like your actions towards him or vice versa, that you probably would feel like crappy about right now, but you still ain't going to apologize for him? They're not even friends at this point. Like the person I dated 20 years ago and the things that we went through less than 20 years ago, guys, okay, 25 years ago, whatever. Do you think I'm calling the first love of my life and apologizing for things that happened back then? I don't even speak to him. I don't even know what's going on with him. And I don't even care about his life. I don't care that he's in the spotlight. He's not part of my life. So why would I say, you know what, I know you wanted to be serious with me, but I wasn't ready, but now I'm in a marriage and now I have a family, but like, I'm sorry for that. No, I'm not sorry for it. My life happened back then. So why am I bringing up the past? I'm just moving on, like with my life, just like you've moved on. You have kids. I have kids. No, I don't blame him. I just actually think he probably would have been better served to not say a damn thing right now, just like he did all those years ago and still got away with it. If he was going to come out and say something, his PR team is doing him a disservice in the past few years. He needs to fire them and get a new PR team, because the only appropriate response, if you were going to say something for both him and Jessica Biel, not that I'm a PR person, but I would tell you right now, if you were going to come out and say something, all you had to say was a dark time in my life. The decisions I made back then may not necessarily be the decisions I make now. And I fully support Britney in her healing process, and I support her as a friend.
But he literally didn't say that.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm not a PR specialist, and that would have resonated more with me, being like, he supports it.
Yeah.
He seems like he's apologetic. And I know his wife, all she had to do was say, I stand by my man, or stand next to him while he said that, or do it on whatever. I mean, Mila Kunis did that stuff with her husband, and people were like backlashing them for it, and we already forgot about it. Not about the abortion, but recently about
10 times worse. I feel like that was 10 times worse than what's happening right now.
But no one needed to hear from Jessica Biel.
No, nobody needed to hear.
Your seventh heaven pass where it is. No one cares. Jessica, yeah. No one cares. Seventh heaven, go ahead.
Listen, there's also a lot of controversy around Justin Timberlake and his infidelity. It hasn't been proven, but there's a lot of rumors about it. I think this just feeds into the fact that it feels like he gets away with everything.
But who doesn't? As a young, wealthy, successful, talented male. I just told you at the beginning of this. But he is. At
what point do we say that a young talented? He's our age.
How long did Harvey Weinstein get away with his BS until he didn't?
Again, and he shouldn't have gotten away with this at all.
I'm not saying he shouldn't have. I'm just saying the world that we live in is what it is. There are a lot of people that get away, a lot of men that get away with things that they shouldn't.
If we don't have the conversations to change it, then they're going to continue to get away with it. From a non-PR person, his response should have been different. If I was a PR person, I'm going to say he tried to say something and it just, no. Absolutely.
But yeah, no. And ma'am, Jessica Biel, we don't want to hear from you. Period.
No.
End of story. That's number one. Okay, so wait. So her memoir, okay, it's coming out soon. When?
Tuesday.
Okay.
Tuesday. Okay, I might actually, a part of me wants to go run to Indigo, because I'm in Canada, get it. Indigo. It's our Barnes and Nobles, and grab it just because I want to like, or maybe
Well, I'm gonna get
download
it to
on
support a
Audible.
bitch. I'm gonna get it to support a bitch.
This is what I'm
I'm
saying.
gonna give her my $17.99. Brittany, you will get my
So
money.
while we're on the book track here, Miss Jada.
Oh my God, I'm not getting her book.
Oh no, I'm not getting her book. There's no way I'm fitting into this.
It gives me anxiety just to think about her
Will did a
book.
live. Will did an Instagram live. I
Shut the
honestly
hell up.
haven't seen. Okay, listen. First of all, I actually haven't seen this Instagram live. It's just all over my social media saying Will did an Instagram live. I don't understand how people didn't record that Instagram live. It doesn't make sense to me. But or it's still out there and I just haven't seen it. I haven't had the time to dive in to find out where it is. But he is. Oh man, he pissed.
Really? What did he say? This is about Jada saying they're separate, basically outing their relationship.
Apparently in the book, Tupac proposed to her while he was at some jail. I don't remember which one it was. And he was apparently around the same time he was engaged to somebody else. So that's one. She claims that Tupac proposed to her during that time.
Was she dating Will at the time?
I don't know if she was dating Will.
Well,
but this leads into, hold on, because there's more to you. Hold on. This led into how she also says that she loves Tupac more than Will.
More than the father of her kids that supported her all these years?
Again, I have no intentions of reading Jada's book. This is all from several interviews and stuff I have binged on the internet.
Question, Jada, did he propose to you like, I'm in prison and you like my wifey? You could be my wifey. Or did he say, will you marry me? I want to be with you. There's a difference. They're both proposals, but they're both different. That's number one. Number two, did you get permission from his mom to use his name in your, come on. I'm just saying, because you could say any kind of thing about him right now. And we just have to take your word for it because you happen to have pictures in a relationship with him back in the day. I'm gonna trust you, but I don't trust you. And three, that's all about from that one statement. But three, what else did Will say? Because she did not obviously discuss with him that she was going to come out with this book and what was going to be said in the book.
So it's funny because there was reels of her unboxing the book in front of her family and her kids were around and Will was there. And they're all shocked.
Your companion did not read that book before you think I'm going to write a memoir about my life and not have my husband read it? Even if I'm estranged from him and he's still part of my life, I would, especially if he's in it.
Girl, I don't know. Anyway, Will is not happy. Will did an Instagram live, which I still haven't seen the videos of, but apparently he told Jada that karma will get her for doing what she did to him. He's holding no bars back. He's turned off his notifications. Any reels, videos, and stuff he's posting now all has his comments turned off. I think that speaks to the fact that one, and she's also said, like, Chris has asked her out during the time that they were Chris Rock. And she has told Chris that, like, the slap had really nothing to do with in the moment. It was from past things that have happened. She is trying to break that man.
Trying. I feel like she tried everything. She must have done so much. See, now we're going against her and not supporting her and supporting Will. See how it's shifted based on the person and based on their perceived action in relationships that we're not involved in. But whatever, we'll go with it. We don't know what Will's done to her. No. We don't know if she wanted to be separated and divorced a long time ago and he kept saying no and she tried to work it out for him. We don't know. We just know the way it's being seemed right now is that, or the way it seems right now is that she's the instigator in this relationship or trying to put him on blast. But maybe this is what she wanted all along. Maybe he wouldn't let her go free. I don't know. We don't know. So I'm just saying, we don't know if a girl's been held hostage in her marriage. She don't seem like it, but you never know.
I don't know. She also did an interview about the Red Table Talk with Jay Shetty on his podcast. I haven't listened to the episode. I really am having a hard time doing anything.
I can't get on board.
Just the entire situation.
I can't get on board with Jay Shetty.
I can't either. I can't either. But she did an interview with Jay Shetty and she did say to Jay that the Red Table Talk, she wanted to do it by herself and her husband decided to join her. But then it just the way the clips that I've seen about that interview, it didn't really make sense. If you guys were separated during the entanglement, why did you need to have a Red Table Talk about the entanglement? Why didn't you just come out and say we were separated at that time?
Because I'm telling you, maybe they have an agreement that they can't talk about it. And then she decided to screw the agreement. I want to talk about it. And conveniently, right before she dropped her book. I mean, if that's not premeditated, I don't know what is, especially if it's been 7 years in the making and you kept your mouth shut for 7 years. And now all of a sudden you're like, I'm not going to keep my mouth shut anymore, but here's my book. I don't know. It's very, I mean, Will got good PR people if you're feeling sorry for him. It takes two to tango.
Yeah. I also think I'm just over their whole situation.
Justin, go hire Will's PR team. Because I like Justin mainly because of NSYNC, and obviously he's just a dumb white male, right? But at the end of the day, he could come out smelling like roses and be supportive of Britney without even being in her life, but he's not. He's coming across as the enemy.
Yeah.
And we don't need to go anti-Justin or anti-Britney. We don't need to do all that. No. But I also don't want to go anti-Jada, like her or not. She's doing her thing. And I don't want to be like, oh, Will Smith. Y'all are all adults. Grow up. Get divorced, Will and Jada. Come on. It's a trend. Everyone's doing it. What kind of partnership is that? But what kind of partnership is that? I don't really like getting people divorcing, but what kind of partnership is it when you're both not getting something out of it? And it actually is more hurtful and painful to be in it. It's not worth it.
I think that she's getting something out of it.
What?
I don't know what she's getting. I think that I truly believe, I don't think it's him I think it was the both of them who decided to stay in the marriage and try to heal and work on it. But I think at this point, I think she's utilizing it to her advantage. And I don't like to think of like that way, but I don't know. And maybe this is because Will has stayed out of it.
Again,
really. He's sad though. It's getting.
How are we to know that he didn't want it to work all these years and she wanted to move on and he wouldn't let her go? We don't know the relationship. So we don't know if she's just had enough and was like, screw this, I'm moving on anyway.
Okay, but let's assume that's what it is. Then why come out and publicly say that you love another man more than your husband?
Because he won't sign divorce papers.
Then have that conversation in closed doors, girl.
She probably did. It's been 7 years, 8 years.
I hope so.
Tupac's been dead for how long? This is not a new conversation, honey.
No.
Will knows about this. No. Will knows about this. The public just knows about it now.
It's true.
And it's not like we found out because someone told us, honey. You wrote a book about it. It's just sad that she didn't do him the common courtesy to have him read the book, talk about this, and have him support her and figure out a way to do it together before you came out busting out and saying all these things just because you want to sell a book. And your truth. If your truth is hurting somebody that bad, they should know about it beforehand, especially if you claim to care about them. But I do not know your situation. So just from the outside / I didn't even read about it. You're telling me now. What else you got?
Okay, let's end this on something fun and cute because you know how much I love this couple.
But this is a lot to miss. Okay.
That's two big You missed a lot. You missed a lot. I also am happy that you took your little vacation because I then just binged a bunch of pop culture news. So you're going to catch you up. Travis Kelce and Tilly were out in the town. We had talked about this recently offline. Could I just say that I was obviously gushing about how cute they're being together, but I think this raises a different conversation between couples, mostly because I'm obviously dating too. And my man asked me the other night, he's like, why are you so obsessed with the two of them? I know you think Travis is hot, but you're obsessed. You need to know everything. You know what?
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. But here's the thing. I think women are obsessed because Travis Kelce is a sheer gentleman. So he actually went on his podcast. His brother was like, how did it feel pushing the security guard out of the way so you could get to the door to open the door for Taylor? And I didn't push him. I put my hand on his back to tell him I was there and said I was going to get the door for her. Anyways, there's a cute little bit between him and his brother. But he did say, listen, when I go on a date, it's about me being a man and protecting who I am with a little bit. And just the way he acts towards her, it was extremely cute during their little weekend session in New York City after the SNL party.
You know what? I take it back. Justin Timberlake, go get Travis Kelce's PR people. That's what you need. You need to get that. Okay, look.
Well, first he needs to get out and about again, and people need to start photographing him again because I don't think I've ever.
He could take a page from Beyonce. He really could. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, question. Not that I want to rock your world here with this hypothetical, but if Travis and Taylor broke up, who's getting blamed?
Damn.
You know the answer to that, and that goes back to our original first part of this conversation of today's episode, where the guy's always to blame. But yet, I'm pretty sure you're going to say it's Taylor's fault and her record because he's clearly the gentleman. He's doing all the things. I'm just saying.
Okay, you are absolutely right. It takes two people to break
Yes,
up
thank you.
A marriage, a relationship. It really does. And it does take, I will say this too, because I have been on the other end where I've been like, I want out. And my ex-husband was like, I'm never signing divorce papers. And I laughed because I thought it was funny. Where it literally does mean somebody trying to hold on for dear life.
Yeah.
So you're right. It does.
You've been Jada. You've been Jada.
Yeah, except I laughed about it. I didn't make a book about it.
Yeah, but if you were if you were Jada though, and Will said that, and then you're like, it's a longer conversation because he's not letting you go. And time passes and it's still the same and you're doing your thing. Because remember, you also have to do this in secrecy, right? Because you want your decision to be made. So if you were Jada and it's been 7 years and your husband still has a hold on you, I'm just hypothetically saying, wouldn't you just live your life and tell your truth anyway? Because what do you have to lose? You know you would. Girl.
Yes, to an extent, yes. But I'm also not the kind of person who's I have a fiery energy. The minute that fire energy is ignited, and
Jada doesn't, and Jada doesn't.
Jada's lighting stuff on fire and burning shit down.
I'm just saying, if you had to be trapped in a marriage that you didn't want, or maybe there's part of you that wanted because you have kids together, you have a brand together, you're still going to do your things. Jada still continues to do her thing. Just as a unit. The weird keeping our relationship together for the outside world was the weird part for us. But at the same time, they had children and the kids had to grow up. Now they're grown up, right? Mm-hmm. And you're just used to being together because you've been obviously separated, living your separate lives for 8 years, 7 to 8 years. But before that, you probably had relationship problems and you chose not to get divorced, to try. But then you just did your lives separate. And then when it mattered, when you're going to photograph occasions, you do it together. No big deal. I'm still living my life. I'm still doing my thing.
Okay, yeah, so I get it.
I'm just trying to be devil's advocate here.
No, he's definitely not. He's definitely not to blame, and neither is she. I think it definitely takes two to break them up. I guess this is a matter of who gets to say their side first, right? And now because we're hearing her side and how ugly it seems from her side, I don't know. I guess for us, because we watched what felt like a very broken man slap another man.
Again, Tupac may be the one that got away for her. Everybody has one of those. Not everybody, but most people have one of those. Mm-hmm. So that could have been like the what if they did get together? Maybe he wouldn't have been at that time at that place. And we would never know what would happen. Or maybe she'd be the grieving widow and have moved on to somebody else because her life would be different. I don't know. But I'm just saying, I understand people trying to keep their marriage together for the sake of other people. And then it becomes comfortable and say, why rock the boat? You're doing your thing. I'm doing my thing. We're both benefiting. Who cares? We're still living our lives. I can understand. I'm not a celebrity, but I guess I have celebrity tendencies in myself where I understand. People do it all the time. Like royalty people do it, like super duper famous, like presidents do it. Like you're marriage together because you're forming a unity to the world, but you still have your life and you still do things separately. Usually it's the man that does his own thing and the woman just kind of, hello, Trump and Melania. They got separate bedrooms. Come on. Oh. She renegotiated her prenup when she was like, oh, yo, you running again? We got to renegotiate because I got to be by your side.
She renegotiated her prenup before moving into the White House.
She has renegotiated her prenup many a times. And you know what?
Okay. Very that. What you?
Because remember, as his wife, whether he's campaigning or not, she has to be visible because that's the expectation. Yep. When she's not there, it's a conversation about why she's not there. So it's supporting your man, but it doesn't necessarily mean that is the person that you're having sex with, that you're sleeping next to, but it's your companion. It's your life partner that you've signed on for. There's a different thing.
Yeah.
Listen, I said this last time, and I'm going to say it again when we talked about them. It's the new standard for relationships. There is no standard. It's whatever works for you guys. And we just don't have to understand it, but this is what worked for them. And now it's blowing up. And I wouldn't be surprised going into next year that they're going to be filing for divorce, because what's the point of keeping it together when the whole world knows it's a farce, or a farce to us? Heavy.
I get what you're saying. I'm going to play the other end here. I don't think that's what we're going to be hearing from the two of them.
Ooh, tell me what you think.
I think that in a couple of months, we're going to hear that they have
renewing their vows.
I shit you not. I honestly believe that we're going to hear that they've reconciled, they've healed, and they're on the mend in their relationship and they're working it out. I honestly believe that's what's going to happen.
Okay, I take it back. Justin, go back to Will Smith's PR people if that's the case. But either way, this is good to watch. I have a heavy heart when I talk about relationships that are negative because I want to put positivity out there. But the reality is every relationship's different. We don't know what's inside these relationships, the 3 relationships that we talked about. Infidelity on some parts or not. Travis Kelce is a player. Jessica Biel's dealing with infidelity from Justin, allegedly. We know Jada had her thing and we know Will had his thing, allegedly. But we're not there, so we don't know. We're just speculating, just like everybody else. Thank you for the info.
I will say that I think that if something happens between Travis and Taylor, we're one going to find out about it in her songs. And two, listen, I love Taylor Swift songs, but let's be real. And
it's her diary. It's her diary.
It is her diary. And she's very proud of her lyrics, and she should be because they're beautiful lyrics. And two, Travis Kelce needs to step lightly here. He stepped into a world that is Taylor run. So you don't think the Swifties are going to come after him in full force?
I don't think so. I think if they break up, they're going to do it quietly. The Swifties won't even know until it's separate. I think what's going to happen is that the girl who goes out with him after her is going to have problems. And he better be ready to marry that girl because that's going to be a problem.
I'm going to say it. I think this is endgame for her. Thanks for joining us,
I guess we'll find out. We do have to sign off right now, but we will talk to you soon. And please follow us at Woke Pretty Podcast on social media and also on YouTube. And please be kind and share this episode with a friend if you enjoyed it. And hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcast platform. And we will see you soon. Bye.
Bye.